They have talent, they have excellent ideas, they have courage, and the scientific community will certainly hear more of them. You are going to meet them today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Werner von Siemens Award ceremony begins. It is awarded for the 23rd year in a row, and we would normally meet in the Bethlehem Chapel. But the current situation will not allow that. Due to the pandemic, the ceremony will take place online. I believe that it will still be an extraordinary celebration of science and the desire to explore the world around us. We are starting. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes CEO of Siemens Czech Republic, Eduard Palíšek. Good day, welcome to us.
Hello.
A number of events were cancelled this year. Have you also considered cancelling the ceremony?
The COVID outbreak makes the situation very complicated. We need to understand that Czech schools have been partially or completely shut down for more than 30 years, and this had a major impact on the standard process of education. This is why we decided to award the prize also this year to recognize the best works, because we very much appreciate all students and teachers who attained such achievements even in these extremely difficult times.
Why has Siemens been awarding the prizes for 23 years?
Discoveries and innovations are at the core of prosperity of any society, and innovations can only be brought by educated people. This is why education of young people in schools is very important, as it allows transforming discoveries and innovation into practice. We also highly appreciate the role of the teachers, and for this reason we are perhaps the only ones who award not only students but also teachers who help students to achieve these results.
Is there anything special about this year, apart from that it is held online?
This year is the same in the sense that a high number of students have submitted their works again, and this makes us very happy. It is different in the sense that this year we introduced a new category, the smart infrastructure. We realize how important this topic is. This year we will also award a proud prize to a student who overcame obstacles in his studies. However, I must say that this year all students would deserve the prize because they had to deal with many obstacles this year.
Thank you. We'll see each other later today. And now let's take a look at the Werner von Siemens Award in numbers.
The Werner von Siemens Award will be awarded for the 23rd time this year. 712 entries were submitted to the competition this year, and we will distribute 900,000 crowns to the winners tonight. During these 23 years, we paid out almost 13.5 million crowns in prizes to a total of 410 winners. This is the Werner von Siemens Award in numbers.
And a bit more statistics yet. There were 712 applications this year, of which 263 diploma theses and 206 doctoral theses. The winners are selected by independent juries of prominent personalities of the Czech Academy of Sciences and leading Czech universities. This award is aimed at promising researchers during their studies. The objective is to let them know that their work goes in the right direction and is appreciated. The first category is for diploma theses, and the jury, which selected the best projects, was chaired by the rector of the Brno University of Technology, Professor Petr Štěpánek. Good day, Professor.
Hello.
Overall, 263 diploma theses arrived this year. So how difficult was it to choose the best ones?
Well, I have a feeling that our jury, in terms of the number of works, has been the most busy jury because it focused on the assessment of the quality of works. Assessing 233 papers is really a huge task, and it puts high demands on all members of the jury. During the evaluation, we try to proceed in a very correct way, although each evaluation is very difficult. We try to be as correct as possible. Choosing the best works has been really a huge effort. In the first round, we selected 32 works that made it to the second round, and in the second round, we selected 12 works that advanced to the third round. In the third round, the task was much easier because from then on, we only evaluated the works that ended up on the victory rostrum or just below it. So the jury has indeed worked very hard, and I would like to thank all the members of the jury for their efforts. And on this occasion, I would also like to thank Siemens and also its CEO, Mr. Paríšek, because the support that Siemens gives to the best talented scientists by organizing events like this is really extraordinary, especially nowadays. After all, even this awards ceremony is an extraordinary event, and I greatly appreciate it. I will be happy to meet person in the coming years to congratulate the winners.
Says Petr Štěpánek, rector of the Brno University of Technology. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Goodbye. Congratulations to the winners.
The third place belongs to the diploma thesis entitled Preparation of Clay-Containing Nano-Fibrous Layers by Electrospinning. The author of the thesis is Lenka Bardaňová from the VSB Technical University of Ostrava, and the supervisor was Kateřina Mamulová from the same university. My thesis describes preparation of nanofiber layers with the presence of clay minerals, kaolinite and vermiculite, and these clay minerals intercalated by antibacterial agent chlorhexidine acetate. Nanofiber materials were made of hydrophobic polymers, polyurethane polycaprolactone. The layers were prepared by electro spinning and subsequently characterized. Their morphology was characterized using scanning electron microscopy. Distribution of clay minerals and chlorhexidine in the layers was examined by EDX mapping and Raman spectroscopy. This work really provides a lot of new knowledge about intercalation of drug additives into nanofiber layers. Intercalating antibacterial substances in clay-containing minerals can prevent the so-called burst effect, which means release of a large quantity of the antibacterial substance in a very short time, and nanofiber layers can be a suitable carrier for such composite materials. I would also like to highlight our cooperation with the company ContiPro, which is one of the world leaders in the production and research of hyaluronic acid. However, the path from research to practical application is very long and complicated. I see the largest potential in wound healing and tissue engineering, and material engineering does not remain aside. The presence of women in technical sciences today is, according to me, no exception, at least at our university. The path to success is an open mind, love for science, for research, or rather passion for exploration. The Werner von Siemens Award is a great honor for me and a huge motivation for my further scientific work. Very good day to you and congratulations. Hello, thank you. Nanotechnologies have seen a huge boom in recent years. What could be the application of the materials that you worked on? The diploma thesis dealt mainly with basic research, namely the preparation of these materials and their characterization. For practical application, the materials would have to be characterized further, but they are promising for use in healthcare, for example, for wound dressing or as filter materials. Where do you see the future of your research? I would like to develop a medical device that would be actually used in practice. A similar question to you. Do you think this technology can be applied in practice? Our goal, or rather dream, is for these nanofiber materials to become a promising, cheap, and easy-to-use material for antibacterial applications. I see the greatest potential especially in wound healing and in tissue engineering, but application in material engineering also remains on the table. I really wish you that your developed materials find their way to the market soon. Thank you, goodbye. The second place was awarded to a diploma thesis which deals with advanced production technology for joint implants using the EBM method. The author, Katrin Bučková, is from the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, Brno University of Technology, and so is the supervisor, Professor Miroslav Píška. The main purpose of my thesis is to relieve people from pain, restore their joy of movement. There are growing numbers of causes for the loss of mobility. Among the most prominent are joint diseases due to sedentary jobs, obesity, but also due to excessive sports performance. The topic of my diploma thesis is advanced production technology for personalized joint implants using the EBM method. EBM stands for electron beam melting. It is an additive manufacturing technology using an electron beam to melt and then sinter metal powder layer by layer into the required shape.
The greatest contribution of this thesis is its originality. It builds on more than 20 years of research, and only today's advanced technologies have enabled a successful solution to this issue which troubled entire generations.
My thesis examines material, mechanical, tribological and fatigue properties of the most widely used titanium alloy Ti6Al4V. My design of the implant proposed in my diploma thesis brings many advantages. It is customized on the basis of CT images of the knee joint to fit the physiological needs of the patient. It preserves maximum of the healthy bone and is several times lighter. All this contributes to better integration of the implant, faster healing, then return to back to normal life, movement and sport. The unique design includes a personalized inner part of the implant which imitates the shape of the patient's bone and also contains a special fixation and strengthening element, a parabolic rib ensuring the implant's rigidity. It is gratifying that the patent procedure is already underway. My greatest satisfaction will be successfully healed patients who will be able to resume their hobbies, family life and sports activities without any limitations. Congratulations, a very good day to you and welcome here. Good day. You worked on the development of a new type of implant, so what are their main benefits for potential patients? The implant is personalized, tailor-made for each patient, while preserving maximum of the healthy bone, and at the same time it is much lighter than conventional mass-produced cast implants, which allows faster healing, implant integration and faster return back to normal life. What types of implants can be designed with this technology? My thesis focused on the knee joint, but any other joint at the human body could be designed similarly. Professor, how difficult was it to find a suitable material?
Of course, the material is crucial for the implant. It ensures that it is long-lasting and well-tolerated by the body. So the search for the material took many years, and it was not until in the past decade that 3D printing appeared. We used an alloy composed of titanium, aluminium and vanadium because it is a proven material. However, in our application, the material has a gradient that increases durability, provides the desired tribological properties, and enhances integration into the bone issue.
Once again, big congratulations to both of you. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you very much. And here is the winning thesis. It is named Consequences of Heavy Bombardment for Chemical and Prebiotic Evolution on Early Mars and Earth. The author is Lukáš Petera from the Faculty of Science of Charles University, and the supervisor was Martin Ferus from the Jaroslav Hejryský Institute of Physical Chemistry of the Czech Academy of Sciences.
We investigate in our experiments whether simple inorganic compounds can form the basic building blocks of life, such as sugars, amino acids, or nucleic acid bases. In other words, we try to figure out by what processes is it possible to initiate the formation of these basic building blocks of life, such as amino acids, sugars, from simple anorganic compounds such as methane, ammonia, or the simplest molecule containing elements essential to life such as formaldehyde. Lukáš combined a number of seemingly unrelated disciplines and developed a comprehensive picture of how laser experiments, exoplanet exploration, Mars exploration, exploration of the origins of life on Earth but also elsewhere in the solar system or in the space can be related. By studying terrestrial exoplanets at different stages of development, we can take a peek into the history of our Earth. We can observe planets that are not 4.5 billion years old by just 100 million years instead. That gives us a huge advantage because we can't observe such planets in our solar system. I'm now further developing the topic of my diploma thesis also in my doctoral thesis. I appreciate most about Lukáš that he is a hard worker and that he has science at his heart. What brings me the greatest satisfaction is that my thesis is appreciated. The full appreciation of the initial result that Lukáš achieved may not come until 10 years from now, when the aerial telescope is put in space and surveys those nearly 1,000 known exoplanets. Perhaps the future exploration of Mars will show that the chemical compounds which Lukáš identified as products of prebiotic synthesis in his experiments can actually be found on Mars, and that they played a role in the early Mars chemistry, and if not in the development of life on Mars, then at least in the formation of some prebiotic molecules on the red planet.
Welcome here. My congratulations. You are trying to find answers to fundamental questions. How did life originate, and is there life outside our planet? How far have you come so far?
We could say that we currently research pre-biosynthesis of the basic building blocks of life from inanimate elements and environments. These may be represented by the early Earth or the early Mars. Many scientists assume that conditions on the early Mars were similar to the conditions on the early Earth. However, because Mars is a geologically dead planet, compared to Earth, its surface has remained unchanged for billions of years. This means that traces of these basic building blocks of life might still be found on the surface of Mars or just below it, and it means that they perhaps were synthesized there in the same way as on Earth.
You're actually playing into my hands, because Perseverance rover recently landed on Mars. It's another big step in exploring the red planet. So could your research be perhaps applied there?
Definitely. What we do is we study a model system in our lab. We study what reactions can take place, what products they lead to, and if the rover later discovers some specific molecules that may fit into our theories, we will be able to clarify what processes might have occurred there.
What is your supervisor's view of further application of the research?
This research mainly opens up the topic for future research. As Lukáš mentioned, the mechanisms we studied in the laboratory may have played a role in the formation of prebiotic molecules on Mars, or perhaps even origins of life. And I firmly believe that future missions will confirm our research findings.
And I wish that your mission is successful too. Thank you. Goodbye.
Dear students, dear scientists, dear teachers, I'm extremely sorry that we cannot meet again in person. I really appreciate the fact that in the past years we had the opportunity to participate at this amazing event. I have always felt and understood that what was done here was done from the heart. I have always seen it as an example of what the synergy between science, research, academia and business should like. I am very glad that we presented our innovation strategy called the Czech Republic Country for the Future a few years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. Some of you, including people from Siemens, participated in developing this strategy. I mention it because this has been one of a few visions that actually materialized. When we developed this strategy, we made it clear that we wanted to close the gap between science, business and academia. We wanted to involve the young generation and start building infrastructure for startups. We needed to introduce polytechnic education to primary schools, secondary schools and universities. And we need to involve everyone who lives in our technological world to innovate, and we must create conditions for that. I am convinced that we are doing well in that respect. I am glad that we kicked out and that thanks to this event, you are now the key drivers of progress, innovation, science, and collaboration between research and business. Thank you very much for that. I would also like to thank Mr. Paríšek, who has been really the key figure of not only this event in the past years. I dare to say that Mr. Paríšek has been the key figure of innovation in the Czech Republic and has hugely contributed to it. I respect him immensely for that, and I respect all of you who meet, albeit remotely. I wish you well. I will be looking forward to seeing you again on the nearest occasion. We keep our fingers crossed for everyone. Stay safe, and I wish you all a beautiful day.
The jury in the next category had by no means simpler life. Now it's the turn of the best doctoral thesis. Over 200 of them arrived this year. The jury in this category was chaired by the rector of the Czech Technical University, Associate Professor Vojtěch Petráček. Good day to you.
Good day.
Over 200 doctoral theses enrolled. How would you rate their quality?
We, as a jury, have been evaluating doctoral theses for many years now. As in previous years, also this year, we saw many great works. The quality is very high, and it is really not easy to choose the few that will become the winners. But the quality was really very good.
What was then the decisive aspect for selecting the best ones?
Choosing the best thesis is partly subjective, but a lot depends on the professional experience of the members of the jury. Based on many years of experience, we know that the best works can be spotted quite naturally. After that, we focus on these in our discussions. We try to decide which one is the best, and we try to cover the full scope of the awarded categories. So this is the process how we arrive to our final verdict.
Thank you so much for the interview. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Now we are going to look at the winning doctoral thesis. The third place was awarded to a doctoral thesis which is dedicated to the detection of early pathophysiological changes in respiration in children with chronic lung diseases. The author is Václav Koutsky from the Department of Pediatrics of the Second Faculty of Medicine of Charles University and the University Hospital Motol. Professor Pohunek of the same department was the supervisor.
In my doctoral thesis, I focused on methods of safe and effective examination of lung function in infants suffering from long-term lung disease. For older children, we have a number of standardized examination methods, but the situation is much more difficult in infants. We would very much like to continue our project because the data we collected as part of my doctoral thesis are relatively unique. Personally, I would be very interested in how these patients' condition develops later on. We already started international collaboration in the course of my doctoral research, and the main reason has been that these types of examinations are relatively rare. The technical methods used in this area saw a dramatic development. For example, the multiple breath nitrogen washout testing became a common practice at the turn of the millennium. We were the first to introduce this method in the Czech Republic as part of my doctoral research. Dr. Koutsky's doctoral thesis is exceptional because it deals with respiration pathophysiology in the youngest children, and the data set he collected is very unique. Another change is that more and more information about potential practical use of these methods becomes available. Information on what direct impact these methods have on the clinical practice, how they affect the treatment process, and so on. Dr. Koutsky is a very conscious and educated person who constantly questions his results and thus advances them further. It has been a great experience for me, and I hope that we will work together for years to come, because even from the human point of view, he is a great person and a person who is well self-organized.
Good day, welcome here, and my congratulations. How will your method change the care for the youngest patients?
Hello. Our method will make it possible to examine these patients in the first place. So far, the possibility for detecting early pathophysiological changes in infants and toddlers have been practically zero. Now we have a tool providing a relatively simple method for identifying early stages of various chronic diseases.
How will this reflect in the prognosis of these youngest patients suffering from a chronic lung disease?
Our main goal is to improve the outlooks for patients with chronic diseases. The sooner we detect a disease and start treating it, the better are the chances of preventing further progression. The chronic changes will not progress further, and the patient's condition will improve significantly.
What does working with the youngest patients mean to you?
It is a combination of hard work and knowing how to communicate with these patients. You need to put them to sleep, get them to do what you need them to do. But on the other hand, it is also very rewarding to see these little patients doing well later on. It is great to see you were able to help them.
Thank you very much, and wish you much success in the future. This doctoral thesis ranks second. Topological band theory of relativistic spintronics in antiferromagnets. Its author is Libor Šmejkal from the Faculty of Mathematics and Physics of Charles University and the Institute of Physics of Academy of Sciences, which is the home institute also to the thesis supervisor, Professor Tomáš Jung-Wirth.
The topic of my doctoral thesis is the connection between antiferromagnets and topology. Antiferromagnets are specific magnetic materials in which, unlike in conventional ferromagnets, atomic spins are arranged in antiparallel fashion. Siemens is also a physical unit that expresses how easily a wire conducts electricity, and Libor's work shows that it would actually be possible to conduct electricity without losses. In terms of non-dissipative currents, we managed to show in a new material, an alloy made of manganese and silicon, that electrons can really move without energy losses, even at relatively high temperatures up to -50 degrees Celsius. Now we continue searching for even better systems that would work at room temperature. As far as the actions are concerned, we have progressed perhaps even more there because we have managed to develop a totally abstract proposal into a proposal for which we have specific candidate materials. This would allow us to detect a hypothetical particle that could explain what the universe is made of. We find our research very exciting, and we were able to verify our predictions relatively quickly. My collaboration with Libor Šmejkal actually took an unexpected turn. In the first year, when we still didn't know each other well, I really thought I would supervise his doctoral thesis, but soon after we met, our roles changed quite quickly, and I became the one seeking consultations more often than him. I really appreciate the Werner von Siemens Awards. In my further research, I would like to further develop low dissipation antiferromagnets, because you can certainly imagine that if you could change your smartphone for a month instead of for one day, it would change the rules of the game in the industry.
Good day to both of you. Welcome here with us. My congratulations on the award. Where at all can antiferromagnets be used?
Hello, thank you. We hope that antiferromagnets can be used in all areas where ferromagnets were used so far. For instance, we hope that they could be used to increase the life of batteries in mobile phones and improve microprocessors or memories in a way that electrons move more efficiently.
So how long the phone battery last?
Well, 1 month instead of 1 day.
That would be something. I myself would appreciate that. So what are your next plans with the research?
Well, we are excited. We continue our research because we already successfully verified these theoretical ideas and predictions in the laboratory in the meantime. So we pursue two main directions now. First, we try to achieve low dissipation currents at higher temperatures, which means you wouldn't have to carry a refrigerator in your pocket. And second, we also found that these materials could be useful for detecting dark matter.
Professor, a question to you. How significant is this research for the development of new technologies?
I think that Libor achieved a really extraordinary success. We knew that what were the principles of conducting electricity without losses, but we were able to achieve that only under extreme conditions, either extremely low temperatures of extremely strong magnets. Libor showed that lossless currents can be achieved even under normal conditions and normal temperatures without the need to apply strong pressure or strong magnetic field.
I note that the thesis has attracted worldwide attention, so what are the international reactions?
Libor's work has become really well known. He already established himself as one of the leading scientists in topological antiferromagnetic spintronics. It is quite unusual for students to be regularly invited to conferences to present his papers, and Libor received many such invitations, at least at the times where we could still travel.
May your success continue. Thank you. Goodbye. And let's take a look at the first place, the best doctoral thesis. Multifunctional biomolecular assemblies for parallelized analysis of biomolecular interactions. The author is Markéta Bocková from the Faculty of Mathematics and Physics of Charles University, and the supervisor is Professor Jiří Homola from the Institute of Photonics and Electronics of the Czech Academy of Sciences. In my work, I focused on the research of optical biosensors and their use for the detection of biomolecules and for the study of biomolecular interactions. Optic biosensors allow to monitor biological processes at the molecular level, helping to identify and understand, for example, the molecular mechanisms of various diseases, and are applicable even in their diagnostics.
I highly value that she is not looking for appreciation or applause. She always focuses on the result. That is also why I am pleased that this year the jury decided to give the award to her doctoral thesis.
Transfer my research into practice is what makes it most fun. A specific example from my thesis is, for example, a small clinical study that focused on papalicin A2 and its diagnostic and prognostic role in hemodialytic patients. Another clinical study focused on identification of biomarkers and biomolecular interactions associated with myelodysplastic syndrome and acute myeloid leukemia. The Werner von Siemens Award is a great motivation for me for the future, and at the same time an acknowledgement that our research is of high quality and interest not only for us but also for colleagues from other scientific disciplines. I'm currently working on a new generation of biosensors that would allow for study of cells and complex cellular processes. Good day to you and congratulations on this fabulous result. Hello, thank you.
Hello.
You investigate optical biosensors. What are the scientific fields that they allow you to examine? The fantastic thing about optic biosensors is that their universality gives you insight into an extremely wide range of scientific fields. For example, we can monitor interactions of molecules regardless of their type. This means the origin and development of diseases, interactions among drugs, nucleic acids, toxins, or bacteria. This method could be applied in medicine. In what way could it change, for instance, the diagnostics of certain diseases? Optical biosensors, by actually helping us to understand the origin and development of diseases, can make diagnostics more precise. They can help find, for example, a new biomarker or specific interactions associated with a particular stage of a disease, and thus can contribute to diagnostics. Professor, what from your viewpoint makes this method unique?
I think that this method is interesting because it provides a universal tool for studying a wide range of biomolecular interactions. These molecules and molecular interactions can be used to build biosensors for specific diseases or therapies. So this is how they can be helpful.
How do you envisage future cooperation with people from the medical field?
We have a long-term collaboration with medical scientists, whether it is in the field of cancer treatment, oncohematological diseases, or the treatment of the Alzheimer's disease.
Thank you, and I wish you much success in your research. Have a nice day.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, I would like to say that it is a great honor for me to be part of the 23rd year of the Werner von Siemens Award. This is an established, significant award which focuses on students, academics and researchers. I believe that this award is unprecedentedly significant in this year. There are three main reasons for that. The key reason is that the current epidemic reveals that the issues we face are knowledge-related and require knowledge-based solutions. To be able to find these solutions, we need research and also education. The current pandemic has also shown that students, academics and researchers are an important part of the critical infrastructure of our country, and we saw how important they are in dealing with the crisis, whether it was by volunteering, research and development, or offering research resources for testing. The third reason I would like to mention, especially on behalf of the Ministry of Education, is the involvement of students. We all probably know someone who, after they finished their lessons, continued by working in a second shift, so to speak, where they devoted their time, diligence and effort to helping others for free. Whether it was providing healthcare, as was the case of medics, volunteering in legal and psychological counseling, or simply helping in hospitals and elsewhere. I believe that these are the reasons why students, academics and researchers need to be shown recognition by such a prestigious award as the Werner von Siemens Award. Apart from being a token of appreciation, the award also shows that research and education are the absolute priorities for the Czech Republic, now more than ever before. I would also like to thank Siemens this way for the portfolio of awards offered by the Werner von Siemens Award. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, we very much appreciate that the awards are given also to teachers. As we know, achievements in the areas of research and or education are very often results of collective work. It is the teachers who lead and couch talents, and without them the situation would be much more difficult for students. Another prize to be awarded by Siemens is the award focusing on Industry 4.0, smart infrastructure and energy. I am very glad that we have such an important award for these really crucial agendas, and I am very glad that I can also congratulate all the winners on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, and of course thank the company for organizing this event. Thank you.
The world is going through the fourth industrial revolution. It changes the method of production and also affects a number of other areas such as the labor market or the educational system. These trends are also reflected in the Werner von Siemens award. The next category is the best thesis on Industry 4.0, and the chair of the jury is Professor Vladimír Mařík, head of the Czech Institute of Informatics, Robotics and Cybernetics of the Czech Technical University. Good day, Professor.
Good day.
To begin, how is the Czech Republic fulfilling the concept of Industry 4.0 at the moment?
I'm happy to see it is implemented successfully. We were worried that companies might struggle during the COVID outbreak, but we see that many companies focused on preparing for the future, on IT technologies, digitization, and the use of artificial intelligence. So we are happy about that, and according to the statistical data, the Czech Republic does not lag behind its neighbors, countries like Germany or Austria.
What captivated you in the winning thesis?
Our jury received a number of high-quality submissions. In the end, we chose a thesis that is a great example of an engineering-based approach. It solves a modern problem by applying modern methods with practical application in mind. We really like that the findings can be immediately applied not in one company, but in many companies. The results are applicable in industrial practice in the broadest sense.
Thank you, Professor Vladimír Mařík.
Thank you.
The winning diploma thesis in this category deals with the design of a robotic painting cell using workers' motion tracking and imitation. The author is Maggie Mejdrechová from the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering of CTU. I proposed a method to robotize small batch painting. In small paint shops, this is usually done manually with a handheld spray gun, but it means working in a polluted and harsh environment, hence the efforts for robotization. The issue is how to program the robots to apply the paint appropriately. My method is original. While the paint worker works, I track the worker's motion. On the basis of the tracking data, I generate a control program for the robot. In practice, it means that the worker paints the first piece in a series, while the robot finishes the rest.
This work is very exceptional because it deals with a challenging topic which needs to be resolved in practice. It is a topic that is typical for the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, and the author surprised me by her unique approach and how she addressed the topic of her thesis.
I believe my thesis has the potential to succeed in industrial practice. During development, we were in touch with one Czech paint shop. So far, no one has been able to offer them a solution. automation. I have very much interest in robotics and automation because it always brings some improvement. At the same time, I enjoy modern technologies because they offer new opportunities for resolving technical challenges. So when my supervisor came up with this topic, I didn't hesitate at all. I found it great. I'm sure that the other theses were excellent too. Mine may be different in that it's not purely theoretical, since the output of my thesis is a functional
I am a big
prototype.
fan of this exceptional solution and will make every effort to support it and make sure that it finds a practical application.
I would definitely like to continue my focus on robotics and automation since I find this technical field very meaningful. I would like to try to progress from the prototype and develop it into a functional tool applicable in industrial practice. The award is of great prestige to me, and I hope it will help me find ways to develop my work even further. Congratulations on your award. Your system envisages collaboration between a human and a robot. What will be their respective roles? My system is unique in that both elements are necessary and complementary to each other. The human has the know-how and experience with the operation that can be passed on to the robot, while the robot can perform the operation for very long exactly in the way learned from the human. Together, they make up a team that can perform the operation at high quality, efficiently, and for long. Could your system be used for other tasks, because now the robot is primarily intended for painting? Certainly. We chose painting as an example to show some practical application to a specific task. But generally speaking, the system is a method of robotic trajectory planning that can be used in any operation. For a start, it can be used in operations where hand tools are used, such as blasting or applying glue or so. But generally, it can be used for any robotic trajectory planning. Has anyone from the private sector shown interest yet? At the moment, no one from the private sector has contacted us directly, but we will certainly try to find an industrial partner to further develop the prototype, because we believe it has potential and sense. I wish you much success. Thank you very much.
This is what drives us. This is why we're so passionate about mobility and always go that extra mile to move beyond what's possible today. We are pioneers in transportation, helping our customers keep the world in motion. As their trusted partner, we create ways to move people sustainably and seamlessly, from the first mile to the last. This is our vision. This is what we're moving toward and beyond.
Smart cities, e-mobility, sustainability. These terms have become buzzwords lately, and they will become increasingly important. The future counts on them. That's why there's also a new Siemens Award category for the best thesis that deals with smart infrastructure and the energy sector. The chair of the jury is already here with us, Professor Stanislav Mišák, head of the ENET Research Center at the VSB Technical University of Ostrava. Good day, thank you for coming. So which technologies will prevail in the future in infrastructure and in the energy sector?
Well, this is a complex and difficult issue, but looking at the submitted works, we can see that the students themselves understand the importance of this area and the importance of future technologies. We will see a shift towards decentralized energy production, shared electromobility, use of distributed resources, and these technologies will complement nuclear power generation.
What will a city of the future look like?
The city of the future should be a low-emission city. I therefore expect strong support for electromobility, with priority given to the hydrogen economy. A large proportion of energy should be generated from renewables, and we should certainly not forget waste management, which should become an alternative source of energy.
How did you choose the winner in this new category?
Our criteria were quite demanding. We received many high-quality submissions, and we had a lot of hard work as jury members. Each of the papers is individual, original, and unique. The basic criteria we applied are as follows. First, whether it belongs to the correct category. This was a binary criterion. All works were correctly submitted under the evaluated category. The second criterion was the contribution to the current state of knowledge. It is whether the paper presents new findings and is unique with respect to the current state of the art. Another thing which we as the jury members consider very important for diploma and doctoral thesis is their applicability in practice.
Says Stanislav Mišák. Thank you for that. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day too. Goodbye.
And the winner in this category was a diploma thesis on the secondary usage of discarded batteries from electric vehicles. The author is Lukáš Janota from the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, CTU.
In my opinion, the proposed solution for the use of discarded battery cells from electric vehicles in stationary battery energy storage systems will find practical application very soon. It will significantly reduce the necessary investment in the acquisition of these otherwise expensive systems. It addresses one of the current issues faced by the energy sector, and it offers also a viable solution. Both technically and economically, the use of these battery cells in energy storage systems is realistically achievable within the existing electric power systems and under the current conditions. Within the EU, there are appropriate technical and economic as well as legal conditions for the use of these stationary battery energy storage systems. This work shows the way forward. It shows how to make much better use of natural resources, how to use energy, human labor, and economic resources embedded in a product. It also offers possibilities for a new second life of these batteries that complements their primary purpose. I want to follow up on the conclusions of my diploma thesis also in my dissertation work as part of my doctoral studies at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering. I think this is a very important endeavor, a very important way forward, not only in the area of batteries and electromobility, but also in other areas. For me, winning the Werner von Siemens Award means both a surprise and further motivation for future work in this area. But most importantly, it gives me a great feeling of satisfaction that my diploma thesis has been recognized by experts in this field.
Good day. You are historically the first laureate of this category. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how can discarded batteries from electric cars be used?
Used batteries from electric cars can be used in a relatively wide range of applications, including large capacity stationary battery energy storage systems. These systems can be used, for example, to support safe and stable operation of the power transmission and distribution grid. In times of peak load, they will supply energy to the grid, and in times of low load and high power production, the batteries can be charged to store excess energy from the grid.
So how much will it change the energy sector?
It will certainly help to develop the entire energy sector. It will contribute to its massive transformation, which has been taking place in recent years and will accelerate even more. It can help us decentralize, accelerate the use of new technologies and alternative sources of renewable energy, which are very specific and are difficult to manage.
In case of success, what will be the impact on the environment?
The most important impact on the environment will certainly be the overall reduction of emissions from power generation. The second objective is to maximize the utilization of primary natural raw materials and extend the life cycle of batteries. An example is lithium and other materials that are used in batteries.
I wish you good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
In science, one often has to overcome many obstacles. The next award is intended for those who not only overcome obstacles in research, but also in everyday life due to their disability. And despite their handicap, they achieve extraordinary results. The jury in this category was chaired by the rector of Masaryk University, Professor Martin Bareš. Professor, good day to you.
Good day to you too.
How are students with disabilities currently supported at Czech universities?
The Czech universities offer relatively broad support to students with disabilities, whether they are disabled physically or suffer from learning disabilities. In our university, for instance, we provide support to students with disabilities since the year 2000, and now nearly 600 students with various disabilities study at Masaryk University.
What message do you have for young people with a disability who wish to study?
I would tell them that they don't need to worry. They should not feel limited by their disability and should follow their dream if they want to study, because the world today is different. The young generation has a really wide range of educational options, and it doesn't matter whether someone has a disability or not. This will only make them value their achievements more and make them earn more respect from the public. I am a neurologist by profession, apart from my current position as the rector of Masaryk University, and I have taken care of patients with disabilities all my professional life, including children with cerebral palsy, and it is extraordinary what achievements they've made. Many of my patients now continue their studies in a university.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you too. All the best.
This year's award for overcoming obstacles in his studies goes to Josef Zaduban from the Faculty of Technology of Tomáš Bati University in Zlín.
At the beginnings of my university studies, I was really worried whether I would be able to master all subjects such as English. I'm totally dependent on lip reading.
Right from when he was born, he's had to overcome barriers associated with his inborn bilateral deafness.
It makes it difficult for me to follow the speech and at the same time follow the work in a group.
He tries to be as autonomous in his study duties as possible. He manages without any regular personal assistance or interpreting services.
Especially nowadays, when we have to wear masks, learning is much more complicated for me because masks make lip reading impossible. With our students, we are used to overcoming not only problems arising from specific disabilities, but also issues relating to weaker knowledge of mathematics, physics, or chemistry. Thanks to the individual approach of teachers and the support of the Center for Students with Specific Needs, I have been able to overcome all obstacles so far.
Josef's modesty and friendliness make him a huge inspiration and an example of positive thinking for all people in his surroundings.
I am currently writing a bachelor's thesis on modeling using solid edge. I developed a manual with a description of all functions and commands, which can later serve also as a teaching material.
The Werner von Siemens Award is a great honor for us. It is a great motivation for our further work.
Later on, I would like to continue my master's studies. I have always seen him as a good student who makes an effort and who is always among the first to come to you after the lecture to discuss things further. In the future, I would like to work as an engineering designer.
Congratulations on the award and welcome. What made you decide to study at university despite your disability?
For me, the motivation for university studies has been successful completion of high school. I also wanted to expand my knowledge in the field of engineering and design. I wanted to get a better job in my professional life.
Can a technical discipline be mastered also by students with disabilities, and would you encourage others not to be afraid and go for it?
Definitely yes. The university currently offers disabled students a lot of support during their studies. Various supportive measures, and this makes studying easier for the disabled. And I would definitely recommend studying at a university.
What is the role of your center dedicated to students with special needs? At Tomáš Bata University, we have long strived to adjust the conditions for students with special needs. We provide support, for instance, in the form of assistance, interpreting, transcription, or recording services, or by extending their time for exams. These services are numerous, and the type of support depends on the specific disability of each student. Thank you, and I wish you much more success in your studies. To have good students, we also need quality teachers. Outstanding personalities at the teacher's desk are in focus of the next category, Award for the Best Teacher. The jury was chaired by the rector of the Czech University of Life Sciences in Prague and the chairman of the Czech Rectors Conference, Professor Petr Sklenička. Good day to you.
Good day.
What are the main qualities of a good university teacher?
Although it may seem like a relatively simple question, evaluating teachers is not easy at all. Unlike science and research, where certain established criteria already exist, teachers are evaluated based on many criteria. A teacher definitely has to like his or her subject, has to enjoy teaching, has to have charisma, has to be able to engage students, and a university teacher also needs to be very good in science and research, because for a university teacher, teaching alone is not enough. It is necessary to teach on the basis of one's own research.
I assume that all applicants met these criteria. So what was the ultimate decisive factor?
We decided in 2 rounds. Of course, I couldn't see into the jurors' head during the first round, but the selection was very interesting. The choice was very interesting. The candidates were good, and in our discussions during the second narrowed round, we put emphasis on the candidates' scientific achievements, scientific prestige. Due to time constraints and also because of the current pandemics, we could not go to the lectures and observe the candidates' teaching. So our decision was to a large degree based on the candidates' results in science and research, and also on his or her recognition by the professional community.
The jury was chaired by Professor Petr Sklenička. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
The winner of this year's award for the best teacher is Professor Petr Štourač, head of the Department of Pediatric Anesthesiology and Resuscitation of the Faculty of Medicine of Masaryk University and the University Hospital Brno.
My teaching is unique by being a kind of a combined discipline. It is a combination of teaching in a clinical setting, that is teaching at the patient's bedside, and simulation teaching. It thus requires a combination of modern teaching techniques and methods with a traditional approach. I don't think I'm much different from my colleagues, who are often even more inspiring. Maybe my certain uniqueness is that I am not able to say no. What I like most about teaching is being in contact with students. Students can enrich me and my entire team very much. And what interests me about anesthesiology and intensive care is that we now focus mainly on pediatric patients. In many ways, students are an inspiration to me and therefore also to my professional work. I don't mean clinical work now, that is the work at the patient's bedside. We are now at the Simulation Center of the Faculty of Medicine, and several projects which are now part of the Simulation Center are based on our students' ideas. Students are thus a great inspiration for us in the field of first aid, propedeutics, and some other areas. I enjoy the success of my students even more than my own achievements. We currently have 2 young associate professors in our team who have achieved habilitation in the field of anesthesiology and intensive care medicine much earlier than anyone else before them, that is by the age of 35. And to be immodest a little, I hope that I inspired them for their success and contributed to their academic progress. For me, the Werner von Siemens Award is above all an award for many years of work, not only mine work, but above all teamwork.
Professor, congratulations.
Thank you.
What was the first impetus for establishing the educational portal Akutně CZ?
The first impetus was an idea. It originated around 2006 when we thought that acute care medicine, which is a beautiful, unifying and enriching field, is not sufficiently covered by the curriculum of the Faculty of Medicine. So we decided we would support it by an educational portal which would also provide new modern teaching tools.
You also lead a simulation center. What does it offer to students?
The possibilities are endless. Our simulation center is unique in that it provides all kinds of simulations, from the simplest ones which are available on the Akutně CZ portal in the form of what we call virtual patients. Imagine a computer program that is run based on a decision-making algorithm, but we also offer the most complex simulations that take place in a fully equipped operating theaters or emergency rooms.
What makes a good teacher? What do you think are the qualities that brought you the award?
I admit that I never thought about myself this way, but I think that a good teacher has to be able to listen, communicate, understand the new generation, and also lead by example. That means getting up earlier and going to bed later, and occasionally even getting an award, which shows the others that hard work and diligence can bring reward.
Says the best awarded teacher. Thank you for that and congratulations again. The Werner von Siemens Award also aims to support women in science. Out of total entries, 35% were women and 65% men. And among the winners, 1/3 were women and 2/3 were men. Award for an outstanding scientific thesis by a female author, it is the next special category. The jury for the category was chaired by the CEO of Siemens, Eduard Balíšek. Welcome back at the stage. Welcome again. You have been awarding the prize in the women's category since 2014 in order to support women in science. Is it still needed?
It definitely is. Diversity is important not only in business but also in science and education. If we look at the statistics, the Czech Republic occupies one of the lowest ranks in terms of the number of women in science and research. I think that's a terrible pity. That is why we want to recognize women achievers, and this year has been no different. I'm very glad that a lot of the best contributions this year were submitted by female students. The winning thesis is dedicated to biosensors, and it is a very interesting piece of work also because it is interdisciplinary, combines physics, biology and medicine. I wish success to all women who chose a career in science. I wish them that they overcome all obstacles they might encounter, and maybe our award can contribute to that a little.
Thank you very much. The winner in this category is a great scientist whom we have already met, Markéta Bocková of the Faculty of Mathematics and Physics of Charles University. I think that women bring empathy in science, a more complex view and a sense for teamwork. I believe we are able to quickly switch between different projects, and we may be a little more resilient to scientific failures and deadlocks. I highly appreciate the award for women's scientific work, since technological fields still remain a male domain, even today.
It is true that women are maybe more empathetic when working in a team.
Welcome back again and congratulations again. Thank you again. How do you perceive the current position of women in science? Good, since I am here. Otherwise, I personally know many skilled female scientists, so I believe that they are indeed able to establish and assert themselves also at the international level. However, science, since it is beautiful but time-consuming, is sometimes difficult for women. It is difficult to combine with personal and family life. What would you see as helpful for even stronger support for women in science, for keeping them in science? I think the Werner von Siemens Award is a beautiful example of how to support female scientists. I think the key is more in the local scientific environment and the setting of each individual. I can't think of any simple, functional, universal solution. Thank you very much. I wish you more success. Great discoveries begin with basic research. Its support is absolutely crucial for further development and innovation. Ahead of us is the last and fundamental category of the Werner von Siemens Award, a major outcome of basic research. Please welcome the President of the Academy of Sciences and the Chair of the jury, Professor Eva Zažímalová. Good day. Why is it important to keep reminding the importance of basic research, which you often do? First of all, I hate to distinguish any categories of research, except between the good one and the bad one. Research is a single large continuum, starting from basic research through early applied to industrial research, up to innovations. I like giving an example close to my specialization. You cannot pick apples unless you have planted an apple tree. So much for basic research. New knowledge can only come through basic research. Has the importance of basic research shown during the past year, when mankind has been facing new challenges in connection with the pandemic? Whoever has some brains must have realized that, for example, the speed of development and marketing of new vaccines or drugs and the mere understanding of the new virus behavior was largely due to the very existence of basic research. It would not be possible for RNA vaccines in particular to be developed so quickly if we had not been prepared for it. Developing a vaccine in a year is equivalent to a small miracle, and the same goes for the drugs we talked about. Sure, we have already had some experience with other viral diseases. The current SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus is nothing very exceptional. It is the extent of its global spread that is exceptional. But knowledge of its behavior and its essence is something that we have known for a long time, thanks to basic research. What is your view of the quality of this year's projects? I have had the opportunity to observe the quality for the last 4 years that I have engaged in the jury, and I think they are at least the same, if not better, every year. With basic research, it's sometimes very difficult to choose the best project because you are actually comparing apples with oranges. And if you think you have projects ranging from pure medicine to theoretical physics, the comparison is extremely hard. Thank you very much, Professor, and we will look at the winning project now.
In our work, we focused on reactions involving transfers of the hydrogen atom. These reactions are seemingly very simple, but they are absolutely essential for our lives. In our study, we focused on something that has remained unknown until now. It is a phenomenon that allows transferring the hydrogen atom even if it is strongly bonded in the molecule. The guys discovered a deep connection between the so-called asynchronicity factor, as they call it, and Marcus' theory of electron transfer, for which Marcus was awarded the Nobel Prize. This deep connection was a big surprise to me, because I like to compare contemporary science to a constantly inflating sphere. We stay on the surface, moving apart as it grows bigger, and cover an increasingly smaller part of the total knowledge. So only when we dig deeper do we suddenly see a connection between something that is no longer available to us on the surface. So I really like the deep connection to Marcus' theory.
Something very surprising appeared when we were understanding the chemistry, that it's pretty much the same as what happens when we breathe during respiration or during photosynthesis.
What surprised me about our discovery was how quickly it was accepted by the scientific community, and also I was surprised by the number of positive responses. One funny moment happened after our work was published. It appeared in the prestigious Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States. And one of the reviewers commented why we did not publish the article in a specialized chemical journal, the Journal of the American Chemical Society. At that moment, I wanted to reply, well, we actually did try, but the editor-in-chief rejected it in 5 minutes. We already see some other directions of our research emerging. Obviously, a new phenomenon always opens new questions, and our intention is not only to understand the phenomenon, but also to devise practical applications in experimental chemistry, if possible.
Good day to you, and welcome also to your colleague who joins us from the United States. A huge congratulations to the whole team.
Good day, thank you.
How essential is the carbon-hydrogen bond for life as we know it?
The carbon-hydrogen bond is as essential as any other bond, but this bond can be found everywhere, in every molecule, at least in our bodies. The carbon-hydrogen bond is all around us. It is absolutely essential.
So what will your research bring?
We described a phenomenon that can be used to target bonds that are not accessible under normal circumstances. We want to tear the hydrogen atom out of a molecule. Usually that means tearing it from the carbon atom, and that is not easy, especially when we are dealing with hydrogen atoms with strong bonds in the molecule that are surrounded by other hydrogen atoms attached by weaker bonds.
Where do you see the future of this research?
Actually, in many areas. First, the most obvious is pharmacy, because drugs usually are prepared in very long routes. But with our development, now it can be shortened by much, so it can be much less expensive. But also, for instance, with oil, which is too viscous, it can be made more fluid easily by applying our results. So there are only 2 applications, but there are many. So I can foresee many applications for our research.
You are now in LA. Do you continue in your research in the United States?
At the moment, I do not specifically investigate the asynchronicity phenomenon, as we have called it. However, I am still involved in scientific research, and I study enzyme catalysis. At the moment, I am trying to describe another important phenomenon which nature uses and develop practical applications.
Where do you personally see the next direction of the research for which you were awarded together with the team?
I believe there are really many possible directions. At this point, we are still trying to understand certain details, and as soon as we succeed in that, one can expect to see practical applications, for instance, in pharmaceutical research, as my colleagues mentioned.
What will be your next steps in bringing the research to the mentioned applications?
I think every scientist wants to expand their theory and make it generally valid. This is something that Einstein wanted. He wanted to discover a theory of everything. We do not have such high ambitions, but we would like to apply our theory to other systems, other catalysts. We have focused primarily on iron-containing catalysts, so application to other metals may be considered. It might be possible to expand the range of reactions to cover more industrial and pharmaceutical domains. The theory could be used also for general organic synthesis. And I think, as my colleague Dan suggested, that the other candidates for exploration are metalloproteins, metalloenzymes, or molecular engines and principles of their operation. I think that our theory can explain the underlying mechanisms of their operation, and this will open new opportunities in biotechnology, biochemistry, and biology.
So, my congratulations and a lot of success.
Thank you.
Once more, I would like to invite the CEO of Siemens, Eduard Palíšek. My obvious question is if you plan the contest for next year.
We definitely do. We are a technology company, and we realize how important development of technologies is for the Czech Republic, and how important is it to progress to an economy based on higher added value. This is why we will definitely plan to give the awards also next year.
Do you have any message for those who are considering enrollment?
Don't let yourselves be put off by the current situation and submit your thesis. You will compete with the others, and you will have a chance to win if your work is the best.
Do you also have a message for others who work in research and education?
We experience very difficult times, and we may not be aware enough of how much our teachers do to educate and develop our children even in these difficult conditions. If we are an educated society, we will definitely be able to deal with the coronavirus. It is a short-term problem. A long-term problem might be what I call the virus of ignorance, and that might be difficult to deal with. Let us thus value the work of our teachers who support our children in education, and let us endure.
Says Eduard Palíšek. Thank you for that. The 23rd year of the Werner von Siemens Award ceremony is nearing its end. Let's see again where the winners come from. The Academy of Sciences has the most awards, namely 7. 6 winners are from Charles University, the Brno University of Technology, Czech Technical University in Prague, and VSB Technical University of Ostrava have 2 winners each. 1 winner comes from Thomas Báťa University in Zlín and 1 from Masaryk University. The total number of prizes awarded over the last 23 years is 410. Prizes are handed out, and if you too want to become a laureate of this prestigious award, do not hesitate and enroll. The deadline is the end of this November. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention and for your interest in science. And here are all the laureates once again.
In short, for me, Werner von Siemens Award means recognition of teamwork.
Ocenění práce týmu.
In a word, I would describe this competition as inspiring.
Obliging, I think it is a success, satisfaction, honor, amazing success.
Prestigious and moral appreciation of our work. Great honor and huge motivation in further scientific work.
It is a huge motivation, surprising and joyful.
Great motivation for the future, and at the same time acknowledgement that our research that we do is of high quality.
It was surprising for everyone in the team.
Great achievement.
Great honor.
Amazing award. Siemens was a very interesting person because his company, through his family and his followers, now lives for nearly 200 years. Joy. Surprising, prestigious, a great recognition given the strong competition.
Honor.
legacy. We appreciate the award very much, and it is in the spirit we recognize. We do not focus only on fundamental research, but also look for practical application, and we believe that this exactly drove also Werner von Siemens in his efforts to put technical inventions into practice.